don't, no, wait, now play it back to him, play it back to him.
Now go.
Play it back to him. Got to talk to him.
Simple boys, just keep it simple. One touch, two touch.
It's like a dream come true. Learning from a legend like Gordon Hill. Couldn't ask for anything better.
I'm blessed to be able to learn from him, soak up what I can in the short time that I get.
Right back to it.
Now go. Go.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. Like it's been an amazing experience. I finally got to come over here and I'm loving it.
Control.
Bring it down.
You're right, good. Play the ball, move the ball.
Watch line,
Move the ball.
It's really great, you know, he's obviously not going to hold back what he feels. He tells you exactly how he's feeling about the situation that's going on, so I think that's a little bit priceless.
Now you got the opening.
Do it!
Too many touches there, you got yourself in trouble.
He's got that eye for what he calls talent, and it takes a special eye to see that and notice that and bring that on. And when you've got a sort of a nugget, as we call them, as Gordon sort of likes to describe it, it's a case of taking that nugget, polishing it up and take off the sharp edges and making it as smooth as possible.
I can control it, I can pass it to myself, and I can move. So now what you're doing is you're looking at the situation. We had some lovely passing out there, then what happened?
Gordon, here we are back at Mottram Hall. Can't believe it's been 3 years since you last came over with your footballers. Tell us what's happening.
Well, we've waited 3 years to get off the plane and visit Mottram and go onto the field again and really give the players that I bought a culture of what we are all about in the football world, to see how young professionals perform and how they train, and give them a pretty well good life of what a footballer is all about and how to get there and how to try to achieve it. And it takes time, and as I said, when I brought the players over, I told them that football in England or football in Europe, wherever it is, it's all around you. In the States, in the United States, it is not around you. You have to go and search for it. But in England, it is around us. It's in the air, it's in the flowers, it's in the parks, it's everywhere, you know. And I think that's part of being the number one sport in the world. And I think that's the beauty of it. And having these players come in, looking, seeing, I think they've got the wow factor because they played over in the United States. They wanted to be developed. I'm giving them that chance to be developed. I'm giving that chance to come and perform against players, kids, age groups that are born and bred to play, which is, you know, the English way. So 3 years is a long time to prepare. Keeping me out of my own country, so to speak, because of a horrible disease is heartbreaking. But I think when I landed, I thought I just turned and I just said, yes, you know, home is home. Even though I do live in Seattle, home is home.
I think we should say, of course, that you've got the Gordon Hill Soccer School, United Sports, and you do train footballers over there, soccer players they call themselves, boys and girls, I think, and you bring them over here normally every year. You obviously missed a couple of years because of COVID. You bring them over here, and I think the key word that you mentioned there was culture. Filming over the last couple of days, it is a big culture shock for them, isn't it, when you come over here?
Very much. I mean, 2 days ago we were playing in 40 degrees, and then 2 days later it's peeing down with rain, and it's cold and windy and wet. Did it stop us from going out on the field? No. It was a nice way to show them how the semi-pro teams, the pro teams train. We watched Macclesfield train in the morning. So they got an idea that come hail, rain and shine, the game does not get affected. The development for me doesn't get affected. United Sports is a company that me and my son have had now for a few years. We are purely developers. You know, everybody says, "Oh well, you're a coach." I've gone past that now. I'm an ambassador for the game. I moved to the United States purely to be able to do that. I think it's great that I can actually come back to the UK, bring players, and what it does for me and what it does for everybody that comes with us is it's a yardstick to see where they are and where we are in terms of the level of football. So if I bring a 12-year-old team over, an under 12s or an under 14s, I can get games against similar teams around the area really, and I can actually see the difference. And the yardstick over the years has got a little bit smaller, but there's still a long way to go, and there's still a long way to develop. And you know, that's what I'm about. I love it when I'm on the fields with them. I love it when I'm developing, and I love it when they go into games and they can see the aggression, the techniques, and it's a mirror image. They want to do it, and if I can show them, and which Sam and myself we do, the players are very, very inquisitive. America, as we know it, have got fantastic athletes. I'm looking for footballers. I'm looking for soccer players. The athleticism comes with it.
Go on, sprint, hard, 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 hard. Play it now, inside the foot, finish.
Oh, what a finish.
Joe, you spent a week with the Gordon Hill Soccer School. What's it been like? Have you enjoyed the experience?
It's great. You know, I think the training is second to none, and what Gordon's added to my game, not many coaches have been able to like really decipher that. And so I think everything I've done this week just further enhances my game, and it's great.
The culture over here is amazing. If I could live over here, I 100% would.
So has this past week or so lit your fire? Is it made you more determined to become a successful football player?
I'd say so. I mean, hanging around with Gordon, of course.
Is there any side of it that surprised you?
I say the speed of play is very fast. So the touch, control, movement is very quick. Nothing like what I'm used to. And I'm glad to experience that. It's opened a whole new world for me.
And looking back over the 20 years, I think it is nearly that you said that you've been working with Gordon. How rewarding is it when you find a player that actually gets to be a professional player?
There's nothing better than discovering something from nothing. And when you see players, the likes of Danny Whittaker, etc., who I know was here earlier on today, that I know Gordon's had a direct contact and input with in terms of development, and you see them go on to progress into pro players, and now, as a manager of a pro club, there's nothing better than more satisfying than seeing a kid develop into the professional game.
I get so much enjoyment out of developing the young players that I have. And I tell you what, it's nothing, what am I leaving? I'm not leaving a legacy, I was the best manager, the best player. No, I'm giving the next generation of player a chance to come through. And with United, John, if I would walk to Old Trafford to help them, but they won't never do that. They will never do that, you know? Why? I tell the truth. I don't beat about the bush.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, a lot of these guys, they support English football teams. They all follow the Premier League. It's the biggest league in the world. But when you take them to a place like you took them to Carrington, where United players train earlier in the week, and it's very interesting going around and you telling the stories. Very interesting hearing about how you still feel like you're part of Manchester United.
I think that'll never change. I think, you know, if you're a United player and you get taken to United's heart, which are the supporters, you stay that way. You know, they often say to me, "Do I support them?" It's not supporting. I am United. I'm part. Dennis Law, Bobby Charlton, Brian Robson. We're all part of that make up that beautiful picture, which is historic. And so when they looked at it and I could see the wow factor, it's like, my gosh, is this really, you know, and pinch themselves, because Carrington and the Cliff designed world-class legends, and United have always been renowned for being world-class, and I think that is what they look at. It's like looking at the New York Yankees, the Chicago Bears, you know, the Boston Red Sox in different sports over there. United to me is top of the tree, and I push that out because I know the former players that have played there before me, and I sat and talked to them. I know what the former Man United Players Association does, which is great work in charities. So it goes right the way through, but I saw their faces, and just tell them a few stories when they're looking at the grass, and then they're looking at the changing rooms, and then they're looking at the cars that were parked there because the team was away, and the cars were wow. So to me it was an eye-opener to see exactly that, but nothing at United surprises me when it comes to their history, because it's all written down and it's all black and white.
It's fantastic to see, and it's very much an education for them, all-round education, not just the playing, but seeing how it is different over here, having something to aspire to, and seeing where the stars would train. But for some of them, they're quite young as well. Is it pretty much almost like a growing up process, isn't it?
I mean, I think that's it. You go in as an apprentice and you grow up as a player. And I think that the mentality that has been shown with the current group of players I've got now is showing that they want more. They're hungry for it. They're hungry for the development. And we've got to remember that the United States is massive, is absolutely the biggest country that I've ever, that you could ever possibly think about, because states are as big as England. I mean, if you think about it, you could get England and drop it into Lake Michigan and it wouldn't touch the sides. So you've got 50 of them states with different, all playing soccer. So the growth has got to be there, and you've eventually going to get players that come out of it, because America is made up of different nationalities, and most of them all got the soccer, football culture at heart. So it's lovely to see, and it's lovely because I've coached all over the States. I've got a great yardstick of how these teams play and how this state plays and that play. And the players that come out of it, I think I have about 3 or 4 from different states with me. And they're all looking and wanting more. And I'm happy to, to put them on the right road. The banning of the heading, I came out with a ball which was called the United Light Ball, which is about 100 grams lighter than any proper match ball. You can play matches with it. And I brought it out purely to teach the technique. My question to these people is, what happens if someone has a shot and it hits a kid at 30, 50 miles an hour? Are we going to ban the shooting? We can't do that. But really, the bottom line is, how can we protect our next generation?